Middlecoff, how about the situation with this Cal quarterback? We don't know where he's going to be next year. Crazy.
Chase Garbers?
No, we know he's going to be back. And I'm not talking about Aaron Rodgers either. Chase Garbers.
We talking the dude in L.A.?
We are talking to dude in L.A., Jared Goff. Before we get to that, don't forget, we're glad to have you on our YouTube channel. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. If you're old, give this video a like if you're either.
Podcast below in the description. Check it out. Do it now.
So here, Les Snead, the GM of the Rams, spoke to the media. I'm reading a tweet from Greg Beacham. A quote. Les Snead, when asked point blank whether Jared Goff might not be on the Rams next year. Not going to get into those specifics. That's the beautiful mystery of the future. Jared Goff is a Ram at this moment. It's way too early to speculate. So he's channeling his inner Aaron Rodgers on that one. The beautiful mystery of the future. But man.
Well, it went from the head coach and the quarterback need marriage counseling to like if McVay, let's say, is the wife in this situation, Les Snead is the wife's best friend, we know who he's siding with because that's basically Les Snead drafted this guy number 1 overall, traded up, gave him this enormous contract. Now, he's no dummy. The cash cow for the Rams currently is not Aaron Donald. It's not Jalen Ramsey. It's definitely not Goff. It's the little guy with spiked hair who just was, I think, in like Turks and Caicos or Cabo with his beautiful fiance, Veronica.
Did they run into Shanahan and
I don't know. They were just lounging by the pool a lot with some football on in the background and some beers. So it wouldn't shock me if they ran into each other, but they have themselves a problem. And we said at the moment, we talked about it with the marriage counseling. To me, marriage counseling is only an apt comparison if he's not, if it's intangible stuff. He's not showing up early enough. He's not taking his film study hard enough. He's not all in on stuff that other quarterbacks like the Bradys, the Breezes, the Rivers hang their hat on, right? It's like, God, we can't kick this guy out of the building. God, this guy, I remember when, remember the Saints former offensive lineman, I forget his name, who's now the play-by-play guy for their radio. When he retired, he gave this incredible speech. I think his last name starts with an S. He gave this incredible speech about Drew Brees crying about when he left the office every Thursday, the offensive lineman, they'd order Drew food, and they always respected how much he worked. And I think Drew Brees is definitely known for that. And I
Zach
think, man,
Strief?
Yeah,
Strife?
he just talked about like Drew's, and it's just it's like it's stuff of legend, right? All these guys, like how, and to me, like if the marriage counseling and like he's got to run faster, he's got to throw it harder, like that's impossible to counsel. Like Jared Goff is what he is. It does feel just by the quotes because you don't motivate. His talent is his talent. If you think he's maximizing his talent, I think you would respect that and just be like, we probably fucked up on the money, but the guy's given us everything he has. These quotes do not read like that, right? You just, that was basically kind of a football FU to Jared Goff. Like, this ain't good enough, bro.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's he's here because he's under contract. There's really nothing we can do about his future.
Well, they can't get a divorce, right?
Yeah, so.
If he was Jimmy Garoppolo's contract, would you say that Jared Goff would be on the Rams next year?
No.
No chance, right?
I mean, Sean McVay was disappointed that he didn't get to play, what's his name?
Yeah, AAF.
AAF. So it feels to me like they're trying to motivate him, which is a red flag that he would need that. Now, we don't know, but if they just thought, he's doing everything he can, he just physically, there's nothing we can do about the limitations he has, and damn it, he's Rudy Rudiger in practice every week, but there's only so much the guy can do. I don't think they talk about him this way.
You remember last year with Jameis, and he was throwing all the picks, and it felt like, listen, he's not good enough for us, but all the quotes that were coming out were like, listen, this guy's working hard. All of his teammates were saying like he's trying. It's not from like a lack of effort. And then when they went with Brady and they weren't going to resign him, everything said like, listen, Jameis did everything possible. We just got Tom Brady. He was throwing all these picks, but we did not think it was because he was like fucking around. And then Sean Payton got him. It's like, you know what? I actually think Jameis is maximizing everything he has. It does feel with these quotes, because we've seen these guys talk about quarterbacks if you follow the NFL for a long time, it's easy to understand. Like, that's not usually the way you talk about someone that you know you're going to have back on the team. I just wonder if they are not happy with Jared Goff putting all his chips in the middle of the table on the sport of football. Because if you were, I've been around long enough to know that's not the way you treat a guy that you think he's going to war for you. And we don't even need to read their quotes. They went with the dude Walford from AAF.
Yeah,
like,
but Walford from AAF could be as simple as what I said. Like, he's put, Goff just, the game's passed. There's nothing he can do. He's not good enough. Like that.
No,
action,
I know, but they had essentially, now he was injured, but he was dressed. They benched him that game for the other guy in a playoff game, which looking back, I thought about this the moment that Aikman started being like, God, they were just excited on this guy. Jared Goff sitting on the sideline, and then his quotes after was like, yeah, it was a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
That was basically an enormous guy. This was the playoff.
No, I know. I'm just saying that when that happened, we don't know what they think of him, the guy, but we know that they don't think he's good enough. And we don't know if there's more at play.
But sometimes if you're down on his play and you're not really all in with like the guy, and when I say the guy, like I don't think he's getting in trouble or anything. The standard for quarterbacks is probably unfairly high. What is expected of you, right? You're working basically coach's hours, and back to the Breezes and the Mannings and the Brady. I mean, these guys, the Rodgers, like the time they put in, if you thought the guy was equaling and maximizing his potential, this guy, you've had success with him. I just wonder if you would have just leaned like, we'll go down the ship with the guy we drafted, we paid, we liked.
They're just trying to win.
Yeah, and he's just not a good player.
But what I think about when you talk about a quarterback putting in the time, I think about the video that Reggie Bush posted last year of Drew Brees in the empty practice facility going through audibles all by himself and air, basically a 1-on-11 on air. And then we go back to this quote from Les Snead. The future. It's a beautiful mystery of the future. Jared Goff is a Ram at this moment. It's way too early to speculate. How is he not a Ram at the next moment? Like, that's the other thing. Is there a scenario where they're just so unhappy they cut him and move on?
To me, that comment's a lack of respect for the guy right now.
Yeah.
You don't talk about a guy that you respect.
Well, I'm just saying you don't talk
about
the
Niners, who Jimmy's been a way bigger disaster than Jared Goff, given that he doesn't even play.
But not given the salary, the contract.
Yeah, but he makes a lot of money too.
I know, but they can walk away right now.
But my point is that they have never spoke about Jimmy like that, even when they were mad at the situation. Like, that's pretty telling that they just said, we don't even care. We're not even hiding it.
Yeah, well, exactly. And they're saying about a guy that is the odds that he's back have to be like 98%.
Well, 98, I think it's 100. They have no money. They have no picks.
Our pets' heads are falling off?
Yeah, what are they going to do? They're stuck with a guy. And it could just be as simple as like, listen, we've tried everything. Let's go a little tough love. I think the Eagles get a lot of shit for being like the opposite. Like, Carson's our guy. We love Carson.
Yeah.
Jerk off Carson.
Yeah.
The Rams are like, well, fuck it. We've been doing that for the last couple of years. It hasn't worked. Let's go the other way.
And we're stuck. Got to try something.
And we're stuck. So we might as well just try a different pitch here. I don't know if this pitch works.
Yeah, but they're out of options.
Yeah. This feels like a Hail Mary. Which I don't think
what they could do is just draft a quarterback high, cheap, and play that
high.
Guy. Well, I mean, not high, but you know what I'm saying? Like
Mac Jones in the second round?
Yeah. And just try to have him beat him out.
Yeah. It's a problem if you can't, though.
Yes.
Which would be hard. Like if I told you, let's just say realistically, two guys, Mac Jones or Kyle Trask is drafted their highest pick, and they get those guys. How does that guy beat Jared Goff out? Especially if there's no OTAs.
Well, I mean,
probably impossible, right?
Yeah. I mean, unless McVay just
plays
him anyway.
You could rig it. Yeah, you could rig it.
Mess.
He's the head coach.